We're going to focus on our Wind in the Willows text again, but this time the questions that we're going to answer are based on an inference skill. Now, the inference skill can sometimes be a little bit trickier, so you have to read around the text and you have to use your imagination and empathy to work out how the character might be feeling, or why they might have done something, or what they might do next. These are the questions we're going to focus on today, and I've put them at the beginning so we can look at them and then read the text through again, and then we'll look at the questions again. Keep these in mind as we're reading through the text, and you might hear some answers or think of some answers as we go along. Number 1, why would Mole have an uneasy conscience? It's in quote marks, so let's listen out for that part. Number 2, do you think that Mole really believes that it is better to be resting on holiday or watching others work? Why? Number 3, why had Mole never seen a river before? We'll have to think carefully about that one. That's in quotation marks, so we're going to find that bit in the text. Number 4, how could the river tell stories of the world if it was located in one place? We'll have to think carefully about that one too. So now I'm going to read the text and I'll work out, you can listen along and you can work out some of your answers as we go. The Wind in the Willows. It all seemed too good to be true. Here and there, through the meadows, he rambled busily along the hedgerows, across the woods, finding everywhere birds building, flowers budding, leaves thrusting, everything happy and busy and occupied. And instead of having an uneasy conscience pricking him and whispering, white paint, he could somehow could only feel how jolly it was to be the only lazy animal among all these busy citizens. After all, the best part of a holiday is perhaps not so much to be resting yourself as to see all the other busy animals working. He thought his happiness was complete when, as he strolled aimlessly along, suddenly he stood by the edge of a river. Never in his life had he seen a river before. This sleek, winding animal, chasing and chuckling, gripping things with a gurgle and leaving them with a laugh, to fling itself on fresh playmates that shook themselves free, were caught and held again. All was a shake and a shiver, glints and gleams and sparkles, rustle and swirl, chatter and bubble. The Mole was bewitched, entranced and fascinated. By the side of the river he trotted as one trots when very small, by the side of a man who holds one spellbound by exciting stories. And when, tired at last, he sat on the bank, while the river still chattered on to him, babbling the best stories in the world, sent from the middle of the earth to be told at last to the hungry sea. So, as I mentioned before, sometimes the inference skill can be a little bit trickier. The answers aren't always found by rereading or reading the text again. These are answers that you think about carefully in your head, and you imagine yourself in the character's position, or you imagine what the author is trying to explain to you. Why would Mole have an uneasy conscience? Find that bit of the text and have a look. What could be making him feel uncomfortable or giving him, an uneasy feeling in his head? Number 2, do you think that Mole really believes that it is better to be resting on holiday or watching others work? Why? Now this is what do you think, but you have to base your answers in the text. Number 3, why had Mole never seen a river before? Think about what type of creature he is. That might give you a bit of a clue. Number 4, how could the river tell stories of the world if it was located in one place? Well, the river stays in one place, but what moves through the river? What idea was the author trying to give you by describing the river as a chattering animal travelling from the centre of the earth to the ocean? Think carefully about your answers and give it your best go. Even if it feels tricky, see what you can put down, see if you can just give it a try, and we'll let you know how you get on. Thank you.